And welcome back. Just because summer is coming to an end doesn't mean you should put your lawn care on pause.
So preparing your lawn during the fall will make a big difference come spring. And garden guy Dale Kay joins us now with more on maybe getting that lawn back in shape. We know that it has been kind of a rough season. We've had a lot of drought issues and a lot of yellow brownish grass right now.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you weren't watering your lawn, good chance if it's not green, it actually has died. And of course, a lot of stress lawns with all that heat that we had. In fact, I can't remember a summer where it was so merciful on your lawns than this summer. So now is actually a good time to get them back into shape. You might think that spring's the best time. Actually, fall is, and for a couple of reasons. Number one is nothing else is germinating right now. So if you want to do some reseeding, you don't have all that competition from all those other annual grasses and weeds that pop up. And also, just the nice kind of like spring-like temperatures. It's almost in reverse. We have warmer days, cooler nights, a little bit of rainfall, and actually a chance of rainfall for tonight into tomorrow. So a great time to get your fertilizer down as well. So let's talk about some of the things you can do to get your lawn back into shape. First one being fertilizing. That's really simple to do. Just go to your favorite local garden shop and buy some fertilizer. I actually have my 3 top favorites right here. The first one, Milorganite. If your lawn is stressed, if it's a little bit brown, if it's suffered a little bit in the heat, Milorganite has a very low analysis. What it's made from is just a natural greener of the lawn and is great for seeding and also stress lawns. So that's the first one. The second one here is a JRK Winterizer. That is a really nice fertilizer. It's encapsulated. It's super easy to spread. It's not messy. It's not dusty. And it's got all the great new fertilizer technology and genetics involved in that bag. And then lastly, there is an organic Sustain. The brand is called Sustain. It's an organic fertilizer. I like it because number one is it's made right here in Minnesota, so you're kind of buying local. That kind of feels good, right? And then also it's just a nice organic fertilizer. If you want to know what I use, and don't take this as any way I'm being endorsed or yada yada, no, but this one here is what I use on my lawn. Take that for what it's worth. It's a good fertilizer. The other thing you can do, of course, right now is reseed. I mentioned warmer days, cooler evenings, absolutely spectacular for our cool season grasses as far as germination goes. So there's a couple of different ways you can get your lawn ready. Firstly, you want to rake up any of the dead grass, and I've used this kind of tool here. It's a good dethatching rake, and basically you go through your areas that you want to reseed, and it kind of gets pulls up all the kind of dead grass that's in your lawn. I was doing a little bit of raking a little bit earlier, and I got sticks and stones and all that dead grass. All that needs to come out because you need good seed soil contact. That seed needs to rest on something nice so it germinates. The other thing that you can do if you've got bare spots is use a lawn seeding soil, just like I've got laid out on the ground. You can see it kind of spread out in front of me right here. So these are the areas that I'm going to reseed and fill up a little bit. Again, you just can't go willy-nilly putting grass seed on your lawn. It needs to touch some dirt to germinate. So super important you remember that. The next thing is seed selection itself. Grass is a monoculture. If you just use one grass in your lawn and it gets a disease, then the whole thing gets wiped out. That's why mixes come in usually, or good mixes usually come in about 5 different varieties. That gives the lawn resistance to disease. It gives it resistance to drought. Gives it resistance to all sorts of things. So I like to pick one that has about 5 different varieties in it. This one here is a premium sun shade blend. It's a hybrid, so it will need some hybrid seed, so it will need some fertilizing. I do the sunshade because I've got this beautiful locust tree right here, so you kind of get a good mix. That goes into your seeder, or you can just spread it with your hands. Oh, that breeze is so nice. But it's a little bit breezy today, so be careful when you're spreading your seed because sometimes the wind just takes the seed and moves it around on you, so keep that in mind when you're seeding. But oh, that was so nice. I've spread my seed out on that little patch right there. You can see I've got about 5, 6 maybe grass seeds in the size of a quarter. That's about what you're aiming for in bare areas. Using a little machine like this that's a spreader on some other areas a little bit broad, that works quite. Oh, want to see some grass seed flying? There we go. There we go.
Not ideal conditions when it's really windy.
Yeah, there's sailing sailing. You can sail when it's windy. Grass seed, not so much. And then finally, you can take care of weeds. You can spray them with a weed-free zone. That's a good one for cool season grasses. If you're not into spraying, don't worry. I understand using like a hand weeder or just your hands yourself. That's another good way to weed. Get plenty of exercise that way, which is really, really nice. But great time to get out, do a little bit of fertilizing. I'm going to fertilize because I think there's rain coming, later tonight, tomorrow,
Yes.
something like that.
Okay, Dale, I do have a question. You mentioned obviously you want to make sure you get so that the seeds actually have something to attach to, which makes sense. So if you've got spots like in our yard, we have some spots that are like really rough and then spots that don't look so bad. Should we still treat the decent areas? I'm not going to say they're good, but should we still treat the decent areas or just really focus on the really rough spots?
Definitely the rough spots. And again, get out that rake. I got a metal rake there against the tree. That would work just fine. If you're pulling up some dead stuff, that's a good indication that you might need to do some reseeding or thicken that area up where the kind of the sod has been. But using that rake kind of will give you a good indication if you need to reseed in those areas. If you're pulling up or you're creating bare spots, then you know you can reseed those better spots as well. But concentrate on the hard spots. If it's compacted too, loosen it up a little bit. I don't like sleeping in a hard bed. I like something a little bit soft, so I kind of get comfy. Grass seed is very similar to that. It needs some air to pull down to start to push roots too. It doesn't like laying on really hard ground.
Okay. Really useful stuff.
Yeah,
I especially like learning about the mixing in different kinds of seeds, because I always thought I had to match the same seed that was already there.
Here's this one little blade. How do I get this exact same one?
I know. That's very useful. Thank you, Dale.
Dale, thank you.
And